Hello, and thank you for watching. Today I am going to be covering 10 important elements of business that I learned about in this class, Intro to Business. First, let's start by taking a quick look at the main types of businesses we see today. Sole proprietorships are the most common type of business in the United States, with over 30 million in existence today. A sole proprietorship is owned and usually operated by just one person. This type of ownership is most commonly found in retail, service, and agriculture, and some of the world's biggest corporations initially started out as sole proprietorships, including Walmart and Procter & Gamble. Another common type of small business is a partnership. A partnership is an association of two or more people who act as co-owners of a business. Now, there are two types of partnerships. A general partner is essentially a coworker, someone who is involved in the day-to-day operations of the business and assumes unlimited liability for all the business's debts. A limited partner is someone who invests in the business but keeps their distance. They aren't involved in day-to-day operations or any decision making. Next, let's look at the most profitable type of business in the United States, the corporation. While we usually think of a corporation as a large, powerful business that takes in billions of dollars every year, technically a corporation is an artificial person created by law. This quote unquote person only exists on paper, but it has many of the legal rights of a real person. These rights include the right to start and operate a business, the right to buy and sell property, the right to borrow money, the right to sue or be sued, and the right to enter into binding contracts. An open corporation is any corporation that is found on a stock exchange. Their stock is available to be bought by anyone. A closed corporation, however, has only private owners, and stock is distributed between a small number of owners. There are a few other types of businesses as well. An S corporation is a corporation that is taxed like a partnership instead of being double taxed like a normal corporation. In exchange for this benefit, however, an S corporation can have no more than 100 stockholders. Now, a limited liability company, or an LLC, is kind of the best of both worlds. They have an ideal crossover between a corporation and a partnership. They're taxed like a partnership, but they don't have the same stockholder limits. Those vary from state to state. And we also have nonprofit corporations. This is the type of business I happen to work for, actually. Nonprofits aim to provide a service to the community and isn't solely motivated by profits. This type of business is able to achieve tax exempt status so that their funds can be better allocated for the services they provide to their community. Next, let's move into some different aspects of management. Management is the process of coordinating people and other resources to achieve the goals of an organization. First, I want to go over some key skills managers need to be effective in their workplace. Conceptual skill is the ability to think in abstract terms. This allows a manager to see the big picture and understand how different parts of the business can fit together. There's also analytical skill, the ability to identify problems, come up with a variety of solutions to the problem, and then choose and implement the most effective solution. Interpersonal skills are important in management because while you're managing people, this is the ability to deal effectively with other people. Technical skill is having the knowledge and experience to effectively perform certain tasks or business practices, or the ability to operate specialized software or machinery. And last is communication skills, which sort of ties in with interpersonal skills. This is the ability to speak, listen, and write effectively. Another important aspect of management is how you organize your employees. One popular way of organizing employees is through job specialization. This is the separation of all organizational activities into distinct tasks and assigning different tasks to different people. Now, what are the advantages of job specialization? Well, for starters, many businesses are quite large, and therefore there are too many tasks for individuals to effectively handle. Workers who instead work on one specialized task can learn it quickly and efficiently. When workers specialize in just one area, there isn't any extra time lost when employees shift from one task to another. Also, it's easier to design specialized equipment for workers who specialize in that task. And from a management standpoint, it's easier to train employees to do a specific set of specialized tasks. There are problems with job specialization, however. When restricted to just one task or set of tasks, employees can become bored or dissatisfied with what they're doing. This can lead to decreased effort from employees as well as less reliability. So, in order to combat these problems, some businesses implement job rotation. This is the systematic shifting of employees from one job to another. This provides workers with a variety of tasks that allow them to develop new skills and also provides a means of new ideas and perspectives to be shared throughout the company. One more method of organizing employees I want to look at today is through departmentalization. Departmentalization is the process of grouping jobs into different departments. Departments can be organized by function. For example, all marketing employees can be divided up to work specifically with other marketing employees. They can also be organized by product, meaning that employees with all different types of functions will be grouped together to work exclusively on one product. They can also be organized by location. This is a way that business can localize or tailor their products or services to best suit a particular area. And similarly, departments can be organized by customer populations, although this tends to require an administration staff that's larger than average. Of course, many businesses incorporate a variety of organizational methods to best serve their employees and their customers. The last management topic I want to look at today is motivation techniques. Employees need to stay motivated in order to produce efficient, high quality work. Our first technique is management by objectives, which is a motivation technique in which managers and employees collaborate to set goals. This involved approval from top management, the establishment of goals, and follow up and evaluation rather, of whether or not those goals have been achieved. Next is job enrichment. This motivation technique provides employees with more variety and responsibility in their jobs. Another technique is behavior modification. Although this name might be a bit sinister, it's simply a systemic program that is put in place to encourage desirable behavior. Employees are rewarded for positive behavior and not rewarded or sometimes punished for poor behavior. Employee empowerment is also a way that managers can motivate employees. This is achieved by increasing employee participation in decision making and therefore making them more involved in their jobs. Similarly, employee ownership empowers employees by actually making them part owners of the company. Companies who employ this method make their employees their stockholders, and employee rewards directly correlate with how well the company is doing. One more method of motivating employees is by adjusting the schedule they keep or the environment they work in. Things like part time work, flexible work hours, telecommuting, or job sharing can be a great fit for certain employees. Now that we've covered some important management topics, let's move on to human resource management. Human resource management is the acquiring, maintaining, and developing of an organization's human resources. And let's start out this section by looking at employee compensation and benefits. Compensation can come in a variety of forms, but usually comes in one of these first two forms. First is hourly wages, which is obviously where employees are paid a specific amount for every hour they work. The second is salary payment, which is a specific amount of money paid either weekly, biweekly, or monthly, and the amount paid isn't affected by how many hours the employee actually works. Commissions are often paid to employees whose primary task is selling things, whether that be products or advertising. Employees might only be paid via commission, or they might receive a combination of commission and wages. Other forms of payment include incentive payments, which are paid to employees with exemplary job performance. These are in addition to typical wage or salary payments. Also, employees sometimes have the option of taking a lump sum salary increase. Instead of a typical salary increase that gradually increases your take home pay, a lump sum salary increase is given to the employee at the beginning of the year, and they pay for the rest of the year remains unchanged. Lastly, some businesses engage in profit sharing, where that's a system where employees' pay is directly affected by the company's success. This is an example of employee ownership, which can serve as a motivator for employees to do the best work they can for the sake of the company. Now, employees are also compensated indirectly through benefits. Common benefits include paid vacation days, paid holidays, and paid sick leave. Also, full time employees often have insurance costs subsidized by their employers, and that can go for health, dental, or life insurance. Some companies also have pension and retirement programs, but some benefits are actually required by the government. All businesses are required to have workers' compensation insurance, which will cover medical costs for any employee that's injured on the job. Employers also pay for unemployment insurance and contribute money to employees' social security accounts. Another important aspect of HR management is the training and developing of employees. Although the two are similar, these are typically broken down into two parts. Employee training is the process of teaching employees how to do their jobs more effectively and efficiently, while management development is the process of preparing managers and other professionals for increased responsibility either in current or future positions. Now, even though these diverge based on the level of the employee, training and development methods for both groups is largely the same. First, we have on the job methods. This is where the training employee works under the supervision of an experienced employee. Training by simulations can be an effective way to train new employees because in this method, employees are trained in a separate area away from the real workplace so they don't have to worry about any mistakes derailing the work that other employees are doing. Classroom instruction is also a way to train employees outside of the work environment. This way, employees have time to study and learn about their work from a knowledgeable instructor. Another development method is training through conferences and seminars. This enables employees of various skill levels to come together and learn from each other, as well as knowledgeable instructors. Role playing is a good way for employees to practice various on the job scenarios and become familiar with proper protocol. And lastly, e learning can be used to teach employees new tasks or develop their skills. These can be done through classes, videos, games, or simulations, and more. The last aspect of HR management we'll be looking at today is performance appraisals. A performance appraisal is an evaluation of an employee's performance that is used to help managers make HR decisions. Now, these evaluations can be performed a couple different ways. One way is via objective methods. Objective methods help ensure that employees are being judged by a measurable standard, which will result in a more balanced and fair assessment. However, objective methods are not foolproof. They might need to be adjusted to compensate for unique circumstances or human factors that can't be measured statistically. The other method is judgmental or subjective methods. Judgmental methods are limited to the employee's perception or opinion of the employee. This method is used more commonly than objective measurements, but management are more prone to let bias influence their decisions. To help compensate for this, a rating scale can be used to help the manager judge every employee by the same standard. It isn't a truly objective method, but it can help keep things more fair. Let's move on to our final category, marketing. Marketing is the activity, set of instructions, and processes for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and society at large. The first aspect of marketing that we're looking at today is marketing approaches. There are two important terms we need to look at. Marketing strategy is a plan that enables an organization to effectively use its resources and advantages to meet its objectives. And marketing mix is the combination of product, price, distribution, and promotion developed to satisfy a particular target market. Now let's go back to and look at a few different types of marketing strategies. We'll bring marketing mix back in here in just a second. One type is an undifferentiated marketing strategy, which is used when a business is using a single marketing mix to promote their product to a wide audience. A business might use this strategy if a product is very popular or if a product is a universal necessity that doesn't have a single target audience. The other approach is a market segmentation approach, or an approach that targets a particular audience. A concentrated marketing segment features a single marketing mix targeted at a single target audience, whereas a differentiated marketing mix features multiple marketing mixes being promoted to multiple target audiences. Let's stop for a moment and take Hertz as an example here. Recently, Hertz launched a new marketing campaign that features female employees working with female customers. One of the ads in the campaign also goes to great lengths to inform the viewer that Hertz has won the Women's Choice Award for America's Best Car Rental Service 6 years in a row. So, when looking at this marketing effort, it's clear that they've chosen a concentrated marketing approach. This campaign has a single marketing mix. The product is retail vehicles. The price is higher than some of its competitors, but this campaign is focused on quality rather than price. Their rental services are widely available, and they're advertising on platforms where they're able to target a specific audience, like YouTube. And they have a single target market, women, in particular professional women, who need high quality rental vehicles and want high quality service. Next, I want to look at another aspect of marketing, pricing. Typically, we're more likely to think of billboards or TV ads as marketing, but price plays a major role into how we buy things. First, let's examine some different pricing objectives. Our first pricing objective is also the most dire one. This is survival pricing. This is a relatively extreme means of moving product that typically only occurs if the future of the business is at stake. Survival pricing can help businesses sell their products quickly, but they'll usually end up selling at a loss. So this is only meant to be a temporary measure. Next is profit maximization. Now, this is typically the main goal of any business, of course, but the problem with profit maximization is that it's nearly impossible to determine what the maximum achievable profit is for any company. The only way to find out what pricing works and what doesn't is by taking risks and continually adjusting to the current economic demands. Our next pricing objective is target return on investment, where success is mainly determined by the ability to earn back the initial cost of the investment. The focus here isn't necessarily high profits, it's much more focused on making sure the company doesn't lose money on the product. Moving right along here, we have market share goals, where sales are compared to other brands with similar products. Here, pricing is adjusted in an attempt to gain a higher percentage of the market share. A good example here is Coca-Cola and Pepsi, two huge drink companies who are constantly trying to outmaneuver the other to achieve a higher market share. And lastly, we have status quo pricing, probably one of the less interesting pricing objectives, but this objective is useful in industries where a stable market is important in order to ensure continued success. Here, prices are often adjusted to match other competing products, and no single company is necessarily going to maintain a large market share. Lastly, I want to look at pricing methods. Let's look at three different methods, starting with cost-based pricing. In this model, the price of a product is determined by the initial cost of producing the product. From there, a markup is added, which includes some profit and a little extra to cover any other costs beyond initial production. The total cost of production plus the markup equals the final selling price. While many businesses use this model, it has some significant flaws, including the difficulty of determining an accurate markup and this model's disregard for the ever-changing economy. Secondly, demand-based pricing is used when companies want to maximize profit while still maintaining steady sales numbers. When a product is in high demand, increased prices won't hurt overall sales, but when a product is in low demand, the company might want to decrease the price to keep the product moving off shelves. Recently, a new form of demand-based pricing called dynamic pricing has been implemented online. Using algorithms, companies have a much better understanding of how in demand a product is at any given time. With dynamic pricing, online retailers might change the price of a product 10 or 20 times a day to maximize sales and profit. Another major pricing method is competition-based pricing. In this scenario, the most important determining factor is what the other brands are selling their products for. Cost and revenue takes a back seat here, as price of the products is going to be adjusted to undercut, overcut, or match the price of a competitor's products. This method of pricing can help a company gain market share and increase sales. So, in conclusion, we've looked at 10 different aspects of business that we covered in this class that I personally found interesting or important. We talked about different types of businesses, some key skills managers need in order to best manage their employees. We also covered different methods of organizing employees and some different ways employees can be motivated to perform well at their jobs. Under human resource management, we talked about the various ways employees are compensated, how employees are trained and their skills developed, and we also looked into how managers can appraise their employees' job performance. And in the world of marketing, we explored some different approaches to marketing your products. We also took a look at Hertz's recent marketing campaign, and we examined some pricing objectives and pricing methods that businesses use. As I hope you can see, I've learned a lot from this class, and I can't wait to learn even more about running a business in the future. Thank you, and have a good day.